And today we're looking at a small demo of some of the updates for Ucommerce 9.3. One of the cool things about the improvements to the core that we made is that we created all new content and media pickers for Ucommerce. So this is to enable you to basically add content and media to a product from the CMS. So the way it works is I've set up a product here with a couple of the field types that we introduced in 9.3. And so we have first the ability to set media, of course, which just uses the standard single picker mode. So when I click here, we open up the media library of the CMS. And one of the first things that was interesting with this new view that we're looking at here is that we need to do selection on folders as well as media. So when we're looking at a folder like this one, we have the ability to select it by clicking it like this, or we can go back in and we can navigate into the folder. And we had a few discussions in the UX teams on how to do this, but we ended up on this form where clicking it would select it, and hitting this little arrow here would actually enable us to navigate into the folder so we can select an image. So that's the single picker mode. It's also possible to do multi-picker mode, which makes things much more interesting. So I've set up a second field down here where the actual field is set up to allow multiple pictures. So by clicking the edit, we get into the same view as before, but you'll notice we have a bit more stuff up here. So first we have the ability to select everything within the folder. So not so interesting here because we just have the one, but if we navigate in, I can select everything or nothing. And also an ability to see what we've actually selected. So if we move into, say, an item here with many pictures, we can go ahead and select multiple images, and we can get an overview of what we actually selected and go ahead and remove some of them if we want to. Like this, maybe we don't want that folder, and we can go ahead and say done. So now we have one image and one more. So that's the image picker, which is an all new approach to this. We did the same thing for content. So Ucommerce also has the ability to link content into the catalogs, of course. And so what we can do is we can go in here and say add, and you'll see we have a similar view from before. We have the ability to select all the content in a given folder, and we can see the selection we made. We have the same approach here because we don't have a visual representation other than an icon. We sort of decided to flatten the view a little bit on this one. So like before, we can click it to select it, deselect it, and we can navigate in by hitting the arrow here like this. And of course, we can select many items or none, or we can go ahead and select multiple items if it's set up. And again, like before, we can go ahead and see what the selection actually is, just fine tune a little bit before we say okay. And that's it. So the cool thing here is that we're using the same underlying picker both for media and content, which is pretty cool because you get a consistent experience across this type of working with a list. And we're looking to expand the capabilities of the picker so you can start picking many other items.